Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Looking at Sunday's NFL action here with some player props that I'm bringing you. Really want to dive into the model with you guys, thanks to that Swishland projections model. Take a look at some of the players that the model likes that I'm also going to be betting on. Some of the players that I would stay away from that might seem really good as well. Want to make sure you don't miss Nate's sides and totals bets for week 1 as well. Really happy to have Nate on board here with the partnership with LYB as well, dropping his NFL plays and bets, articles, and the like. So make sure you check out his first episode on the channel. That all sounds good. Give this video a like. Let's get right into it. Quick reminder as we get into these plays, if you don't want to miss a single bet this NFL season, right now, this is the place to get them, wap.com/landyourbets. However, moving forward, got that website on the way, going to be coming out this week. So once that's live, going to have you a different link for you guys if you do want to jump in. Make sure you don't miss a bet that I'm making or Nate as well. But first guy here that I'm talking about is Austin Ekeler. I think the books just don't have this right. So the reason you would disagree with Austin Ekeler as a good over this week would be that you think that Rodriguez is going to come in and take some of those carries from him. I don't believe that's the case. All the scuttlebutt, all of the talk is that Austin Ekeler is in for a very, very big role moving forward now that Brian Robinson Jr. is in San Francisco. This is going to be a great matchup versus the just poo-poo New York Giants rush defense. Might not be as bad this year. Well, the Giants defending the pass, if they can get that pass rush going again with Sexy Dexy being back. But even with Sexy Dexy out there, still don't love this rush defense. It's going to be a pretty big problem for them all year. So Ekeler, if he sees the 10 to 12 carries that we are projecting for him in this one, then he's going to be good for the yards that he's getting here for an over. He had 3 games last year without BRJ, Brian Robinson Jr. One of those was against Baltimore, went under. The other 2 against the Giants, 42 yards, as you can see there on 11 attempts. And he also had a good game against Pittsburgh, much better rushing defense than the Giants last year. That was also without Brian Robinson Jr. So a couple of overs there for him. I think this is going to be another good situation for him. I would consider some alt overs as well. Let's take a look at that Swishland projections model and see that it's spitting out some good stuff for Nick Chubb, right? 12 attempts, 49 yards, and this is a number that is going to be higher than a lot of the lines that you're going to see for Chubb's rushing yards out for Sunday. No Joe Mixon. Still not expecting him maybe till week 5, probably at least week 4, but we're not going to see Mixon, which means Chubb is the man in the backfield. And if he can get anywhere close to the amount of volume that he's capable of getting, we know he's capable of taking 25 to 30 carries in a game. But if he can, after all the injuries, if he can just come back in and get us around the 11 or 12 attempts that he's projected to get here, I think that's going to be good to get us over. He had 6 games last year with 11 plus attempts, and we all know it was a down year. One of the games that he didn't go over this number, his rushing line for this game. Last year, one of the games he didn't go over, even though he had 11 plus attempts, first game back, right? So like the injury, it was a weird thing, but even in a weird season, 6 games with just 6 games with 11 or more attempts for him, still averaged closer to 49 or so yards, 47 and a half than he is to the 42, 43 and a half yard prop line that you're seeing for him. So a decent enough edge. Plus, you've got a good matchup against the Rams. Don't think they improved their rush defense enough to make a difference here. 24th in yards allowed last year on the ground, and rush EPA was 20th. And Mixon, just for comparison, if you look at him behind the similar offensive line as we're seeing for them this year for the Texans, if you look at him last year in games where he had 11 to 14 rush attempts, which is about what we're projecting for Chubb, 4 games with that amount of rush attempts, averaging 57 yards per game. I think Chubb should be a lot closer to a 49, 50-yard projection in this one, so you're getting some value to the over for him as well. One more look at the model and what it's liking here. Zach Charbonnet for the Swishland projections is saying 3 targets, 2 receptions, and I really like the receptions for him once again. He's a 2 receptions a game guy, right? About 13.7 yards on the projection here as well. But if you look at him last season, man, in games with Kenneth Walker, without Kenneth Walker, it doesn't matter. When he's around, he is the guy receiving balls out of the backfield, getting those targets. Last year, he went over 1.5 receptions, which is his line right now, 12 of 17, 9.5 yards, which is also the line, over in 14 of 17. Maybe you just like the yards instead of the receptions, but he did average 2.2 receptions per game on nearly 3 targets, and we're getting him for that here in this game, once again, against the rival 49ers, so I'm liking it. The other thing here is this Seahawks team is going to run the crap out of the ball, probably projecting them in the top 3 to 5 in terms of the amount of rush attempts and yards that they should have this season. That's what their head coach has been talking about all offseason, is that they are going to run the crap out of the ball. That means that Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker should be seeing some good attempts. The Swishlands projections has his attempts at 10, right? They have this as a pretty even split in the backfield right now, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, Kenneth Walker, they have at 12 attempts, and Charbonnet, they have at 10. 10. So just a 2 or so difference there. Not sure if we want to rely on that or not, but if you like the rushing for either guy, like I said, the Seahawks are going to be targeting rushing a ton. It's just I can't get away from Charbonnet's receptions when I know he is the guy who's going to be out there when they need receptions from a running back. I wanted to take a look at Joe Burrow because he is projected to have the most amount of passing yards this week. The model loves him at 285 yards, 36 attempts, 25 completions. That's against the Browns defense, which look, it's probably not going to be very good this year. That's putting it pretty lightly. They had a bunch of big losses. Not really looking for them to be a very good defense this season for in Cleveland. That said, I don't know that this game's going to be super close. Right now, we've got a decent-sized spread, but I do think that the model is failing to take into consideration that this might be a blowout, and that the air yards for Joe Burrow will probably be good in the first half, and if things get out of control, maybe not so much so in the second half. That's why this isn't actually a stay away for me, and I hope you're listening to what I'm saying and not just looking at what's on screen, because if you are, then you know I'm staying away from Joe in this one. Just seems too obvious almost, and like there's too many ways that this could go wrong in terms of this game not being close, and some long touchdowns maybe for a guy like Chase Brown. Just things I don't really like for him to go over. So I am staying away. If he continues the run that he had to end last season, probably a really good over, right? I'm not going under by any means. I'm just saying for me personally, Joe Burrow is going to be a stay away in this one for me. Just seems too good to be true with how high his projections are this week. A guy I do think should have a decent week passing the ball here is Baker Mayfield, and he might do that from behind. I really don't like the Bucs quite as much against this Falcons defense and the way that this Falcons team has improved this season. I think that Baker's probably going to have to pass. I think the over on the yards is still good. You can get it around 240 plus for about minus 130. I like that. But the reason I really wanted to talk about Baker at all is the long pass completion. Right now, it's pretty high, 32.5. High for him last season. Didn't do it that often. I think it was like 8 games where he had at least 32 yards on a completion. But we've got a new OC out in Tampa Bay. And even though Josh Grizzard has been around this organization for a couple of years now, this is his first year as the OC. And we expect his history with the Dolphins and those deep balls that he was a part of helping draw up for guys like Tyreek Hill out in Miami. Kind of expecting that to be the case here in Tampa Bay, that he is going to be the guy to help now air it out a little bit more and go deep on a lot of these balls. And with Chris Godwin back, still Mike Edwins in the fold, Mike Evans in the fold, and a couple of young guys that we know that should be playing out of the slot and out wide as well for this wide receiving core. I do think that Baker's opportunity to throw the ball pretty far downfield is going to be really good. So I do prefer the yards in this one. I want to close out by saying the long completion in this game, not sure if I'm going to go to it. The Falcons are a defense that limit the long ball, right? That is the point of their 4 high safety defense, is that they want to keep the action in front of them. They don't want anybody going over the top of them. So a lot more shorter dink and dunk stuff will probably be a little bit more available for Baker, which means, again, that I do like the passing yards more than I like the long completion in this one. As you can see at the bottom there, I said prefer yards with Atlanta's defensive style. But moving forward, when it's not a team like Atlanta, I'm going to keep my eye on that long completion for Baker Mayfield moving forward. All right, late start for me on this first week with the player props. So I hope you guys are getting to this before tomorrow. If you are online on Discord, in the free part of the Discord tomorrow too, we're going to have Nate and myself, even some Swishland projections in there for you guys, helping you with the bets before the game starts. So if you want to get into the free Discord and get some conversation going tomorrow, maybe some last minute looks on your bets, Nate and I will be in there for you guys. So hope to see you there. And until I see you next, happy betting.